Let's go to the waiver wire for next week. Philadelphia has 2 games. There are 11 teams with 4 games, and the rest have 3. My available in 50% of league suggestion this week is Jalen McDaniels of the Charlotte Hornets. He is 36% rostered in Yahoo, 7% on ESPN. Gordon Hayward, probably out another month or so, and then when he comes back, he's going to get hurt. McDaniels is ranked 88th per game over the past 6 games, which are all starts with Gordon Hayward out. McDaniels, we saw this a little bit, from him earlier in the season, flashed some fantasy value. He doesn't excel in any one spot, and he's not that consistent, but his numbers add up over time. There's a lot of games where he just gets you 15 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a block. I for as long as Gordon Hayward's out, I think McDaniels has to be rostered in a 12-teamer.
Stocks are always undervalued, and Jalen McDaniels, good stocks guy.
Mm-hmm. Ken, who is your available in 50% of leagues player?
We're going to Indiana for the rookie, but not maybe the rookie you're thinking of. Rookie guard, Andrew Nembhard, 52% managed in Yahoo, but only 13% on ESPN. Rookie out of Gonzaga was the first pick of the second round. The Indiana Pacers have 4 games next week. He had a huge 31-point game on Monday, but that was with Halliburton out. Nembhard has started the last 5 games instead of Benedict Mathurin, the higher draft pick. I think they like Nembhard's excellent ball handling, though. And over the last 5, in those 5 starts, he's averaged 14.6 points, 5.2 boards, and 7.6 dimes. Huge minutes, too, for Nembhard if or when the Pacers deal Buddy Hield. Hey, he's a rookie. He's going to have some highs and lows. Didn't have a particularly good game the other night. But love when you can get point guard production off the waiver wire.
Yeah, he's someone who, you mentioned it, if you have a stash spot on your bench available that you're not really using, you never know when the Pacers might send a couple of those guys off to commit to a tank, and then Nembhard obviously transitions into a bigger role. So I think that's a good option as well. Shannon, who is your 50% of leagues player?
Well, I'm going to Utah. Walker Kessler coming off a spot start in place of Markkanen, who sat out. Walker Kessler is very popular option, very popular sleeper option during draft season. Rookie first round pick for who ended up being traded to Utah. Absolute double machine when he gets the minutes. But in that spot start, 10 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 for 6 from the floor, 40 fantasy points. He's had a couple of other big games just last week, 20 and 11 with 2 blocks. In between 8 and 8 with 3 blocks. He's a guy who can rack up a ton of blocks. He is owned in rostered in 40% of Yahoo leagues, only 5% of ESPN. There's some question whether or not, what Walker Kessler's role is going to be once Markkanen returns. I think there's a good chance he could start over Vanderbilt long term.
I was just going to say that. I don't understand the long-term commitment to Vanderbilt here. It seems like getting Kessler, if he's ready, get Kessler his minutes because he's got potential to be a starting NBA center. And I don't know. Vanderbilt's a fine hustler, fine work the boards guy, but pretty limited upside.
And with Sexton now out for a week too, I think Utah may get creative with their starting lineup, even with Conley coming back. Markkanen, I think, is still questionable for tonight. So we'll have to see kind of in the short term what Utah does. But if Kessler, I think Kessler's he's worth the dart right now. If you're just trying to he's a speculative ad, but if you're looking for, there's plenty of long-term upside with him. If you have the time to wait a few days and see how the starting rotation kind of pans out for Utah, then go ahead and do that. But I love Kessler's upside.
Well, and to that point, Kessler per 36 minutes is the 44th ranked fantasy player, which are always those are always good guys to target. to stash on your bench. You just wait for someone else to get hurt, and they come in and start doing work.
He's getting almost 2 blocks a game in only 16 minutes a game. So the blocks are going to explode if he gets more time.
Okay, my long shot of the week, which are players who are rostered in fewer than 25% of leagues. A little more of a deep cut, although he's starting. Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, 9% rostered in Yahoo, 1% rostered in ESPN. Tibbs has absolutely had it with Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, and Derrick Rose. Those guys are not in the rotation anymore. Remember Cam Reddish?
Tibbs likes a small rotation. He likes a tiny rotation.
They're not playing. Grimes, the guy who allegedly held up the Donovan Mitchell trade for New York, finally is starting the past 9 games. Over this 9-game stretch, he's ranked 124th in fantasy, averaging 9.9 points, 4.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.6 stocks, and 1.4 threes. He's sort of touted as a defensive specialist. His 3-point volume isn't great, but the numbers, they're underwhelming, but they add up. Again, 124th as a starter. Tracks pretty well with his starting numbers from last year. It's boring, but in deep leagues, he's got to be rostered, especially in 16-teamers. He's starting, he's playing 30 minutes. He could be a top 125 player. You just got to pick him up. 9% is too low.
You need assists. You need steals. He could be helpful.
Ken, who is your
Am I
long
the only
shot?
one that I keep seeing Derrick Rose in Dallas Maverick trade rumors, and I just think, ooh.
We get that. We could get that.
Pairing, a Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose pairing. Are you kidding me? Oh, that would be amazing.
What is it 2008?
That team would give up 150 points a game. Ken, who is your long shot?
My long shot, it's a bit of a repeat. A gem from a few pods ago. Santi Aldama, Santa Claus at Memphis. He's managed in 30% of Yahoo leagues, 8% of ESPNs. We all dumped him with the return of Jaren Jackson, but JJJ is not a pillar of health. The 21-year-old Aldama delivers the rare combos of threes and blocks. Last 4 games, solid production, 12.5 points, almost 7 rebounds, 3+ assists. But here's what I like, the 1.5 blocks with 1.8 triples per game. This is a little longer-term play. Memphis only has 3 games next week. But if folks are quick to dump Aldama, I think that's a mistake.
I think he did disappoint after that start, but he's still worth rostering in 14-teamers, I think. You may not start him every single week, but he's still worth putting on the roster.
Jackson's
Shannon,
an injury risk every time he gets out of bed.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it too. Who's your long shot, Shannon?
I'm going super deep on this one. Zaire Williams, 21-year-old wingman for the Memphis Grizzlies. We got bad news about Desmond Bane this week being out. What is it? The next 3 to 4 weeks at minimum. So guess who just made their season debut for the Grizzlies this week? Zaire Williams, top 10 pick last season, 10th overall pick. Showed tons of upside last year as well. Had some spot starts. Actually had one run where he started about 20 games in a row for the Grizzlies. There's upside here. This is mainly for deeper formats, and it may take some time. But he did, in his season debut, he played 19 minutes off the bench, scored 21, almost 22 fantasy points. I just think there's a lot of upside here once he rounds into shape and is able to play 25, 30 minutes. The other option for Memphis is, if you don't have that risk tolerance for Zaire Williams and you want more immediate contributions, John Conchar is the option. And that's who I basically expect Williams to eventually supplant in the lineup. Conchar has been locked into the starting lineup since Bane went down. He's averaging 10 points, 7.5 rebounds, 31 minutes. He hits 3-pointers, 1.7 per game during that stretch as a starter. So, if you want more immediate contributions, Conchar's your guy. but I would not be surprised if Williams ends up eating into Konchar's playing time.
I was going to make Conchar my dull suggestion of the week, but I feel like I've done that at least once, maybe more often in the past. But eagle eye scouting there, Shannon, because there are minutes to be had. This Bane injury, a total bummer in Memphis. But yeah, lots of shots and minutes available with Desmond Bane out. I'm going to cut then to my dull suggestion of the week. I kind of struggled to find one this week, so I just want to point out that the Celtics have 4 games, and Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon look like they have like about 40% availability in most leagues. A lot of time they get kind of blown off because they are coming off the bench for the most part, but they're both seeing a lot of minutes for the Celtics. Celtics are the number 1 offense in the NBA, so there's plenty of points and shots to go around. So just check your waiver wire to see if White or Brogdon are available.
I have Brogdon in my NFBKC team, and he'll probably start for me next week on a 4-game week. I think he's exactly that kind of guy.
Try RotoWire today, free for 10 days. Get our premium tools, rankings, analysis, and breaking news alerts. No credit card required. Go to rotowire.com/try.